Anthony Welsh, welcome. How are you, sir?
I'm great, man. How you doing? I'm feeling the energy, man.
Thank you. I'm doing great, man. You're a welcome addition to the cast of Hanna Season 2. Chat me up a little bit about your character, Leo Garner.
Right, so Leo Garner is John Carmichael's right-hand man at a place called the Meadows, which is phase two of the trainees program is happening, where we're trying to socialize them into having these backgrounds and families and schools and all that. We're getting them to believe in that, so when they go into the real world, they'll come across as just normal, everyday young girls.
Now, your character is responsible for indoctrinating new youth. How do you prepare for such a role like this?
Oh, you just jump in, man. You just jump in. For me personally, it was about nailing the accent and understanding where he came from and what his ambitions were, who Carmichael was to him, and doing the usual character kind of stuff, and then just making sure that I was playing a believable CIA person, someone that you believe could be doing the things that he's doing in the show. So yeah, that was a lot of my prep. Now, but also, I'll say this: we didn't always have the scripts before we were filming. We were filming and getting scripts, so wow. A lot of it was open, and you're trying to be present because you don't actually know what's going to happen next.
That's what I was just going to ask you: is how far in advance when you get your character? Because I was talking to one of your fellow castmates, and she said that she knew pretty much her arc for the first season and second season. But how much did you know about your character going into it, and about kind of how your character was going to progress throughout season 2?
I didn't know how much what would happen at the end of season 2, but what I was given, which was brilliant, was I had a conversation with David, or a couple of conversations with David Farr, the creator, and he gave me such a great foundation as to what Leo was about, where he might have come from, what kind of accent he might have, and his relationship to the program. And so from that basis, hopefully, David can do whatever he wants, in the figuring out of the script. And I just apply the same character to those situations, and it all becomes, quite cohesive. So it was a mixture of knowing your character, but not necessarily knowing where he's going. But that's quite exciting.
Now, would you say that Leo is a company man? Because I feel that there's a little bit of pull, there's a little bit of pull in contrast with that character, a little bit of depth that he doesn't necessarily want to do everything that he has to do.
You're right. You're right. I'm trying to figure out how much I can say, but I think he's all in, and I think he believes in the program, and I think he's serving the hierarchical structure of what this program is. So he listens to Carmichael, but yes, there's some seeds of doubt that begin to show and crack. And even if there's subtle seeds, they're definitely there. And we talked about them, especially towards the end, where, I'm going along this journey because I know I have to, and I'm going to listen to what I'm being told. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know what we're pursuing, if what we're pursuing is the right course of action.
Now, you're like Carmichael's right hand in this season. Can you talk to me about the relationship between Carmichael and Gardner?
Yeah, it's very much like Leo is a long time member of Carmichael's team. And I think over the years, this is stuff you don't necessarily see, but you meet them at this point. The years he's built trust and is a confidant of Carmichael's. And it's evident in the amount that he allows Leo to go and, just take care of it. He just says to him, literally says stuff to him like, I need you to go and take care of it. I know what he means. I know what I need to do, and I will fulfill that. And that speaks to the unspoken relationship that they have.
Now, this show does a great job of keeping your guard up. Even as a viewer, you don't necessarily know who to trust or who's lying to, even on screen. Can you talk to me about maybe one of the most surprising developments you found in your character that you found truly shocking with your character?
Yes, but I can't. Well, it's actually something that didn't get this. It's not. We never shot it, but it was something that me and David spoke about. And so it informed the character but it doesn't get revealed. So I guess that's a bit of a rubbish way of saying no. There isn't like a surprising moment that you're going to get. But for me, it meant a lot knowing I had that going into scenes.
Now, there's also a couple of other new characters this season as well. Can you talk to me about the relationship that Leo has with some of the girls that are in the program that we get to see? Because we know that there's new girls we get introduced to this season as well. Can you talk to me about his relationship with them and kind of how he is? How do I say this without spoiling anything? How he's training them essentially, or getting in their heads and talking to them.
Exactly that. He's training them and manipulating them in ways that, I mean, maybe that's a slight spoiler, but no, it's not actually. You kind of figure that out quite early on. He's basically presenting himself as one thing in order to befriend them and gain their trust. But when he goes into the operations room, he's doing something in order to get a required result. And I always thought throughout the whole filming of it, what kind of person is okay with doing that?
Sure.
What kind of person is okay with really getting close to people and telling them or speaking to them in a way that's like, hey man, it's all good, just do this and do that, or actually presenting the question even and just saying, would you like to? But it's a what do you call it? It's a led question. I'm hoping you answer it this way, and that was a lot of fun to play. It's like the double-sided. It's a bit Iago-ish,
It is. Yeah, can you talk to me about how he views Jules and it's Jules and Sandy?
I think he trusts Jules a whole lot more than maybe a couple of the other recruits or the trainees, and that becomes evident in something that's required of Jules, later on in the show. And regarding Anya's character. Why have I forgot Sandy? Regarding Sandy, I think that, he says that she's his favorite, and that's definitely a play. That's definitely a weapon he's using in order to keep her close. And I think that's probably the case, that she's one of the A-star students.
Now, when David sat you down and spoke about the role of Leo to you, what was some of the things that jumped out to you to really attract you to the role?
One of the big things was that he said his accent might not be his accent.
Oh.
And I absolutely, I just loved that. And I thought, well, where could he be? And that opened up a whole thing for me where he could be from somewhere and be presenting within the whole show as one thing, and then presenting to the girls as one thing. But who is Leo? Is his name Leo? All that kind of stuff. So that was what really hooked me in. And I thought, wow, there's so much more to this guy than is on the page.
So fans of season 1 are obviously highly anticipating season 2. If you had to sum up Leo without any spoilers for those longtime fans, what can people expect out of Leo? At least on the surface level.
He's a nice guy.
He's
a guy I think you'd want to hang out with, a guy you'd be friends with and feel quite relaxed with. Whether that's like a good thing in the long run, I don't know. But I think, yeah, he's a very meticulous, specific, and relaxed, guy.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. When I first saw Leo, it was a very comforting, disarming sense. But the more you dig into that character, the more you trust anybody a lot less in the world of Hanna. But I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And your character's amazing. Great work. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. I really appreciate talking to you, man.
Take care.